Influencers love Christmas. It is the perfect excuse for them to make even more extreme consumerism content, and their viewers will eat it up every single time. You've probably spotted some of these videos already, things like winter shower routines, Christmas-themed restocks, Burr basket videos. But today we're gonna look at some DIY advent calendar videos. Well, one video in particular. Making a DIY advent calendar is a very normal thing to do. And in fact, I think it's sometimes better than buying a pre-made advent calendar because you can choose exactly what goes into it. But we're not talking about your average everyday DIY advent calendar here. We're talking about influencer advent calendars. So you already know they're gonna be over the top, expensive, and with a side of being wasteful for Ragebait. I have had so many requests to react to this specific video, so let's start with this. Okay, let's see what we got. Yep, starting off strong with... Huh? Okay. Mini Stanley Cup, I think, and a bunch of money. Tree hut. Freaking Bartholomew Bear. Okay, Summer Fridays. More viral products. I love how she's taking everything out of the packaging. Like, what? Why? Alright, candy, that's the first relatively normal thing I've seen in here. Laneige. Hutchland, did she just spray that for no reason? Of course. Sol de Janeiro, okay. This is easily gonna cost over like $200, $300, I'm sure of it. Oh, Tangle Teaser, I do like those. Why? Why? Why are you wasting things?
Oh, hell no, man. What the...
Bruh. It's Ragebait. It's Ragebait and it works. It freaking works on me. It gets me so mad because why are you wasting stuff like that? Why? It's okay. Rise above it. Rise above it. First of all, I'm gonna do what I do best, and that is figure out how much this entire thing costs. This creator, I believe, is based in Canada, so for some of the products I couldn't find an exact match, but I've done my best to find the exact prices and sort of equivalent products for us in the US. Don't know why I say us in the US. I'm from England. Okay, so first of all, we've got this mini Stanley thing. I don't really know what on earth you would use these for. Like, I don't know, maybe some people are just so obsessed with Stanleys that, like, they want a little ornament of Stanleys. Who knows? But this Love Shack fancy collab is, like, super popular right now. I don't know, I think the designs are kind of mid. They're cute, but, like, they're nothing groundbreaking. Anyway, it comes as part of a 4-pack set, I believe, for $50. Next up, the $100 bill. Crazy. Pretty sure this is one of those like Ragebait things that a creator includes just to get people to comment, oh my god, that's crazy. Pretty sure that's what's going on here. I always say creators do everything for a reason within their content, and putting this $100 bill in the first box is a purposeful choice. Everybody is still going to be watching at this point, so you've got the maximum amount of chance for the viewers to see that you're doing this $100 bill thing, which gives you the maximum amount of chance that these people are then going to be the ones commenting, oh my god, a $100 bill. You see what I mean? Everything these creators do, it is for a specific reason, whether that's for the views, the retention rate, the interactions. And once you start to think about it in a bit more detail, these choices become really obvious. Okay, what was after that? Next, we've got the classic Tree Hut body scrub. This is a super mini version and it's $5. No influencer Christmas video would be complete without a Jellycat, of course. And not just any Jellycat, it's gotta be a Bartholomew Bear. The most boring Jellycat out there, in my opinion. This Jellycat costs $20. It's tiny. It's a little brown bear with a little bow on a little piece of string, and people are dropping $20 on this thing. And not only that, she cuts the label off it. This is another thing influencers will do for Ragebait to get those comments from you guys, saying, oh my god, as if you cut the label off. Everything they do is for comments, for interactions. It's how they get more views, and that's how they get more money. And the other thing is, if this is really a gift, why are you cutting off the labels and the packaging? So if you're taking all the packaging out, or if you're opening these products, if you're using them before gifting them, why? For the content, that's why. So next we had another viral product for 2025, the Summer Fridays mini lip gloss tube thingies, and these four come as a set for $25. The Sephora bath bomb set, I believe this is $10, and I know that because this creator used this exact same product in her Burr basket video she posted not long ago. Suspicious, but more on that later. Next up, two rare beauty items. One is, I believe, the highlighter, and one is a blush. I think the highlighter is $17 and the blush is $15. This is just a lot to put in an advent calendar, in my opinion. Like, these are the kinds of things that I would receive as like big Christmas gifts. So to put all of these kind of like expensive items into a little DIY advent calendar is a little crazy. But again, that's what the creator wants you to think. We've got some Grinch themed Hershey's chocolate. Now these I believe are exclusive to Canada because I cannot find this product anywhere. But similar products cost around $5 US. Next up we've got two Laneige mini lip masks which only come as part of this set for $21. These star patches are $15. This candle is $16. This Touchland hand sanitizer is $10, and of course we're wasting the sprays. Bruh. These mini deodorants are $3. I looked really hard for this set and I couldn't find it anywhere. I can find pictures of it, but not a sort of like shopping listing. So I feel like it's either a discontinued, maybe Canadian exclusive, or it's PR. Either way, I'm gonna guess this has a value of about $15 US. This is $65, and of course we're already opening it and messing with it. This huge box of Tic Tacs I found on Amazon for I think £20, which is about $27 US. There is just so much plastic packaging here. Like, is it really all necessary? This is a $6 nail polish. These hairbrushes are about $15, and it's the same as the one that I use. So yeah, I do like this hairbrush, to be fair. Now this is where things start to get silly. This product is $18, and she's wasting like 2 big pumps of this. Why? Because it looks good visually in the video, and it gets you to comment, oh my gosh, why are you wasting it? Again, it's about the interactions, getting people to comment, getting people to keep watching, just to see what silly things she's gonna do next. It's just wasteful. It's not necessary at all. In my opinion, your content should be good enough that you should be able to keep your viewers watching without having to be wasteful. These chocolates are $6. This is $4, and then of course she finishes off the video with the grand finale, squirting it everywhere. Not only wasting the product, but also getting it all over the advent calendar. What a normal thing to do. So adding up all of these product totals, we're looking at about $468 for this entire DIY advent calendar, which is a lot of money. So we're spending almost $500 on this advent calendar. And at this point, people will start commenting on my video, it's their money, they can do what they want. Yeah, I know, I never said they couldn't. But what I don't like is how this content is aimed towards impressionable young children who start to believe that this kind of stuff is normal. Just take a look at the comments. You've got 7,500 comments here, and there are hundreds of kids saying, oh my gosh, your daughter is so lucky to have a mum like you. Definitely the best mum I have ever seen. I'm gonna say this one time. Consumerism does not equal good parenting. You can buy your kids the entire world, and it doesn't necessarily make you a good parent. You might not be in a position to buy your kids anything extra or extravagant at all, and that doesn't make you a bad parent. But it really annoys me when creators make this kind of content and people are all up in the comments like, wow, you are the best mum ever. I wish my mother was like you. Like, no, they're just shoving random trending little products into little boxes and filming it for social media. That's not necessarily good parenting. It's just content creation. And besides, how do you know this is even a real advent calendar? How do we know that this isn't all just random PR products she received for free? Or if she actually went out and bought stuff that she knew her daughter wanted? How do you know that these aren't all just things her daughter already owned and she just took them and used them in this video as kind of like props? This creator also made a making a burr basket for my daughter video a couple of weeks ago. We reacted to it already on my channel, and I'm pretty sure it included this exact same Sephora bath bomb set. Now I'm willing to bet that this is just the same item used in both videos. You know, it's being used as a prop. Can you imagine what Christmas is like in their house? No, darling, you can't open your Christmas presents yet. Mommy needs to use them as props in her new TikTok video. So this entire DIY advent calendar could be completely fake. This is social media, it's entertainment content. There are no rules out there that say this has to be a real advent calendar for a real daughter. Does she even have a daughter? Yeah, Rach, of course she has a daughter. She's always making videos about how she's making stuff for her daughter. Oh, so influencers just tell you things and you believe them. We're just believing anything we see on the internet now. Okay. Now before I get jumped, I'm not sitting here and saying this creator is 100% lying about everything, including having a daughter. I'm not saying that. That's entirely my point. We don't know. These people are strangers online. We don't know anything about them. They are entertainers who earn a living from making this content. They are under no obligation to tell us the truth. This is social media. It's just content creation. And media does not have to be real. So why does everybody presume it to be real? Now, in my eyes, this kind of content is almost a little bit like brain rot content. I feel like it's aimed towards a bit of a younger audience. It's like visual ASMR, sometimes it's like actual ASMR. People watch it because it's satisfying. This kind of content makes our little consumer brains happy without us having to go out and spend the money on all this stuff ourselves. Now, I'm not saying it's bad content if we're looking at it from a content creation perspective. I mean, the viewer numbers tell us that. This stuff is eye-catching, it's addicting to watch, so I see why it's so popular. Again, talking from a content perspective. But you guys know how I really feel about this kind of content. It's consumerism content that promotes overconsumption and teaches young kids that this kind of consumerism-focused lifestyle is something to strive for. So, on to the big question. Is this overconsumption? I am the overconsumption girl, after all. There were people in the comments of this video already saying, no, this isn't overconsumption. And once again, we are faced with the complexity of the word overconsumption. Is this video in itself overconsumption? We don't really know. If you look at this video as one single video, one single piece of content, it's extremely hard to judge that. You know, for example, we've got like a mini blush and highlighter here. Now, owning these two products themselves is not overconsumption. But does this creator's daughter already have a load of makeup, a load of blushes, a load of highlighters already at home? Because if yes, then buying her even more makeup, even more blushes, more highlighters when she already has a bunch kind of is overconsumption. Yeah, but we don't know that. We don't know anything about this creator or her daughter or that her daughter's even real. We don't know, okay? We can't judge that. So instead, let's look at this creator's entire portfolio of content and ask ourselves some questions. Because being critical of media and the things that we see online is and always has been very important. So does this creator's content inspire people to buy things? Does it glorify consumerism? Does it promote excessive spending? Does it influence people to want the kind of lifestyle where consuming is key? Is it all about buying things, buying new things, buying more things, buying things all the time? I think the answer is yes. In my opinion, this kind of content influences people to want to consume in an excessive way, and that, my friends, I would consider to be overconsumption content. It's not always about creators having huge collections of things, or creators literally standing there and saying to a camera, "Hi guys, today I'm gonna overconsume," because they won't do that because they know that they'll face backlash for it. So instead of overtly overconsuming and posting it for the whole world to see, instead they will make content that covertly influences people to want to excessively consume. And that way they can hide behind the excuse of, well, I'm not telling anyone to overconsume. I mean, no, but in my opinion, influencers are responsible for what their content is influencing people to do, whether it's what they intend or not. So to answer the question, is this overconsumption? From this video alone, I can't say. None of us can say, really, because we have no idea what's being consumed by this individual. But looking at the type of content this creator is constantly posting out, yes, I would call this overconsumption content. But there are lots of things going on here. We've got the overconsumption side, we've got the wastefulness, and we all know being wasteful is bad. I don't feel like that's something that I need to really discuss with you guys. I feel like we should all know that being wasteful is bad, right? But at this point, they aren't being wasteful to be wasteful, they're being wasteful for Ragebait. Again, like we've discussed, it's to get people to comment, "Oh my gosh, what are you doing?" And that's exactly what they want. They need the comments, the likes, the interactions, because that boosts the video, gets them more views, and makes them more money. It's a shame, really, that creators these days go to such measures to get a few comments. People will sit there for hours and watch these kinds of videos. And that is why I call it brain rot content, because it's just rotting your brain. Watching people do this kind of stuff and consume this many products and spend this much money all day will have you thinking that it's normal, and will also have you thinking that it's something to strive for. And I just feel like influencers should have a little bit of responsibility over over what their content is influencing people to do or think, especially when you have such a huge platform with so many subscribers and followers. And I think it's so easy to second guess yourself with stuff like this, because you look in the comments and all of the young kids are like, oh my god, this is amazing, this is so normal, this is so cool, I wish my parents were like you. And you read all this stuff and you're like, they've all been brainwashed, like this is brainwashing. These kids are consuming this content all the time, and it's such a shame because it's just, it's not normal. It is excessive consumerism disguised as some nice, pretty, aesthetic, satisfying content. And yeah, I do think it's definitely doing some damage to like the way that young people see consumerism. So I guess my advice to anyone watching is to just stay critical of the media you consume. If you notice that YouTube or TikTok is pushing this kind of content to you a lot and you're sitting there and consuming a lot of this content, make sure you're asking yourself the important questions. What is this content creator trying to achieve with this kind of content? What kind of values is this content trying to influence me to have? Is this content promoting things like excessive consumption? And is it portraying it as kind of normal or something to strive for? It doesn't always have to be that deep. You don't have to go into it and do a critical analysis of every single video you watch. But I just think it's dangerous to be consuming this kind of content all the time without being at least a little bit thoughtful of what's going on here. Anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys enjoyed the part where we figured out how much the entire video cost, check out my channel because we do a lot of that over on YouTube Shorts. And thank you to everybody who tagged me in this video and asked me to react to it, because this was really interesting to look into. Now this is just one example of this kind of content, and I've just taken it and gone crazy in depth. This wasn't particularly an attack on any particular creator, it's more of an in-depth look at the kind of content that these kind of creators are making at the minute, because this creator and this video is not the only one of these out there. There is tons of this content that you guys will spot. So if you do spot any more videos like these out there that you want me to react to, make sure you let me know. I also have a brand new Discord server called the D-Influencer Gang that you guys can now join. I'll put the link in the description below and you guys can send me any video links in there that you want me to take a look at too. Thank you so much for watching and I'll see you next time.